Everybody, and welcome back to the ACSA team reveals here on Maximum Football 2020. This is John J. Gaming on the mic, and we are here in part 10 of this mini-series, where today we will go over the teams that make up the Super South Conference, otherwise known as, the SEC. This is the Maximum Football equivalent of that. It's going to be a really good one, so make sure you smash that like button as well as hit subscribe if you do happen to be new. Also, if you haven't seen the previous parts, make sure to check that out as well. The link to that playlist will be down in the description as well as in the end card that will be playing at the end of this video. With all that being said though, let's go ahead and check out what this Super South Conference is all about, man. Let's get it. So the first team being introduced in the Super South Conference is the A.J. Moore Academy Tigers. They call Waco, Texas home and are going to be rocking the orange and black in the course of his dynasty, replacing the Nashville Colts in the process. So rest in peace to Nashville Colts right there. This is also what their home and away jerseys are going to be looking like over at A.J. Moore Academy. Going to be going with the all orange for the home jerseys, and then on the road they got a little bit more black thrown in, at least on the player name and number, but expect a lot of orange and white, here at AJ Moore. As for this football team, they are led by wide receiver Duran Buringer, who is a senior wideout with great speed. Not the most intelligent person on the face of the earth, but does have good hands and will look to utilize that. Other than that, it's just a question of who's going to step up. It seems like their defensive line as a whole is their most impressive unit. There isn't really anybody else that really stands out as a star player. So hopefully Duran Buringer is ready to carry this A.J. Moore Academy team during the course of this season. Have the Alabama Hoover Panthers. Calling Hoover, Alabama home. They have one of the best high school football teams in the United States, and they look to do the same here in college football, at least within the ACSA dynasty. They got the black and gold and will be replacing the Tuscaloosa Stampede for this series. This is also what their uniforms are going to be looking like, rocking the black and yellow. Something about black and yellow for some of these better teams that they're wearing, really trying to, with that Pittsburgh Steelers type look for sure. As we go into the visiting jerseys now for UAH, as this is what they're going to be rocking when they are on the road, with an up-close view of the helmets that Alabama Hoover will be sporting over the course of this series. Now, I will say, this is a pretty damn good football team. They got 299 overall guys in Devontae Novosel and Kyler Wood. Both are very elite with he has an arm that can really go from end zone to end zone. And then this wide receiver, can anybody catch him? That's my question. There's, needless to say though, not to mention just the talent and depth on this roster. Look how far I'm scrolling down before I get to those that are under 90 overall. This is half of the roster right here for Alabama Hoover. This may be the best team I've ever seen in a team reveal, and I wouldn't be shocked if they're in contention for the national championship when it's all said and done. To the great state of Louisiana, we have the Bayou State Gators. Calling New Orleans, Louisiana home. Obviously, gotta rock the Bayou, in New Orleans. But this is where they're gonna be rocking the green and yellow in this dynasty, and we are gonna be replacing Columbia Chickens as they are gonna be rocking as the Gators in this dynasty. These are also what their uniforms are going to be looking like with their home and away jerseys this upcoming season. Here are the home uniforms for Bayou State, as we'll get a quick look at those. And then we'll go right into the away jerseys for Bayou State, as this is what they'll be wearing in road games outside of the Bayou this upcoming season. Finally, we have an up-close look of the Gators helmet for this upcoming year, as Bayou State looks to be rocking and rolling. Meanwhile, for Bayou State, they're not clearly as talented as the last team that we revealed, but they still have some good guys. Most notably, they have Deshaun Nelson and Cameron Henry, 90 overall dudes who are pretty young too, only sophomores, so you definitely love to see that. Overall, other guys to take a look at is Mike Gardner, who's a true freshman and will look to be one of the best freshman players in the Super South Conference, And then we have Adarius Harris, who will look to be already one of the most talented people on this roster. Only as a true freshman, he's going to have the weight on his shoulders even before he steps on a football field for the first time at the collegiate level. So definitely watch out for these four this upcoming year. State of Tennessee, we have the capital of Tennessee University, Bulldogs. Hailing from Nashville, Tennessee. They're going to be rocking the purple and gold in this dynasty and will be taking over for the Central Texas Outlaws over the course of this series. These are the uniforms that Capital of Tennessee University are going to be rocking this upcoming season. Love the uniform combination with that purple and yellow, as well as the away jerseys that will be featured on the Capital of Tennessee uniforms for this inaugural season here in the ACSA, as well as a closer look at the gold helmets that they will be rocking here in Season 1. As for this football team itself, they got some pretty good guys. Look out for running back tandem in Ryan Hill and TJ Thomas. Both are going to be some very good players for this Capital of Tennessee team. Look for them to go to them both somewhat often over the course of the season. In addition, they also have star quarterback Colin Davis, who has very good size and also a very good arm. Look for him to chuck it deeper than the mountains of Wyoming, as Uncle Rico would always say. Other notable guys to watch out for is receiver Jeff Brown, who's their best wideout, linebacker Jerry Lampkin, who's the soul of his defense, and the defensive backs in Seth Sweet and Roberto Johnson, one of the better defensive back combos in this conference. We now have Central Georgia A&M, home of the Bulldogs. Yes, we have multiple Bulldogs teams here in the Super South Conference. They're representing Savannah, Georgia, and will be rocking the gold and black for this series. We also have the home jerseys for Central Georgia A&M here, representing that gold and black that you love to see, as well as the away jerseys that they will be rocking as well. You know, very nice jerseys that Central Georgia will be rolling out. Now, Central Georgia A&M has two transcendent superstars. They have Josh McGrew, who's only a sophomore and has 99 speed, can outrun anybody that goes up against him at the line of scrimmage, and a guy that can get him the ball too with Joe LaFleur. He's 232 pounds and 6'3". He has 99 accuracy. If he has time in the pocket, he's not going to miss. Other guys to really watch out for this season is Hardy McQuarrie, who looks like a freshman phenom, senior defensive back Johnny Walters, and linebacker Shaq Jones, who in his own right looks like a very promising freshman phenom as well. Definitely some very good players on the Central Georgia roster. North, back in the state of Tennessee, we have the main rival for the Capital of Tennessee University. We have the Chattanooga Tech Fighting Bass, representing Chattanooga, Tennessee. We're going to be rocking the maroon and white and will be replacing the Mississippi Capital Dogs. Here are the home jerseys for Chattanooga Tech this upcoming season, rocking the red and white, as well as the away jerseys for these guys as well, looking very clean, definitely reminiscent of Mississippi State in real life, as well as an up-close look at the helmets that Chattanooga Tech will be rolling out here in the inaugural season of the ACSA. Chattanooga Tech will also be rolling out a couple of star players. Their main one is Aaron Means, a sophomore running back with elite strength and good hands out of the backfield as well. Look for him to be a major impact, even only sitting at 5'11". Also playing for this Chattanooga Tech squad is freshman phenom Dion Roberts, who seems to be the long-distance cousin of Deion Sanders. He has elite speed already and great play recognition even for just a freshman. However, I will say that one thing to watch out for is this running back situation behind Aaron Means. Ricardo Cox and Chris Malaya are both fighting for that backup job. If Chris Malaya does win that second string role, look for Ricardo Cox to potentially transfer. Other guys to watch out for is the defensive line unit, which may be the best thing on this team as a whole, in Devare Torrance, Alex Engel, and to wrap up the trio, Carl Warren, who's a true freshman. Also watch out for sophomore tight end Corper Tribble and senior quarterback Star Swab. ourselves down to Texas though. We have Bayou University, home of the dream here in Bayou, Texas. They're going to be replacing the Fayetteville Boars in Maximum Football 2020 and are going to be, an interesting team here in the Super South Conference. In addition, these are the uniforms that Bayou will be wearing, very reminiscent of Arkansas, except instead of a, boar looking figure, they have instead the, got the dream, Ivor got the helmet, representing the life after dreams, you know what I'm saying? And, got, just a solid uniform, man. Can't wait to see how it looks on the field. As for this team, though, they may struggle this season as they don't have any stars. One thing, the person that's closest to being a star, though, is Chandler Swan. And depending on his development, he may also get there. Also, watch out for wide receiver Dion Pitts and running back Kenneth James. They're the two best offensive weapons that they can rock. Mac Mitchell is the freshman quarterback. He might have, some hard knocks here in his freshman campaign, but look for him to be a future star here in the ACSA for years to come. Rolling in back into sweet home Alabama, we have Coastal Alabama University, home of the Waves. And they do call Mobile, Alabama home. They got the teal and white and will be replacing the Louisiana Jesters during the course of this series. This is the uniforms that Coastal Alabama will be rocking. They definitely have that coastal vibe, the type of team that loves, that seafood for sure. But don't get confused with these jerseys. They can play extremely hard and very tough too. Looking at this team, however, they can also make the case for, being one of the best teams in the country. They got guys like Dallas Powers, Taylor Niebrich, Damian Burnham, and Will Wesley, but best guys on the team, and they are very close to that 99 overall in their own right. Definitely bring some things to the table that you love to see. As for the rest of the roster, it's a well-rounded roster as well. Not quite as deep as what we saw with Alabama Hoover. On the other hand, though, this is still a very good team that can definitely compete for a national championship as well. We have the Erlanger Barons from Erlanger, Kentucky. They're going to be rocking the brown and red over the course of this series and are going to be replacing the Tennessee Cowboys here in Maximum Football 2020. These are also the uniforms that Erlanger University are going to be rocking, and they, not typical Kentucky colors, unless you're, Louisville kind of guy, got some brown, also a lot of red. Don't really associate that with the state of Kentucky, but again, we like to do things unique here in the ACSA, as these are the away jerseys that Erlanger is going to be rocking and rolling with. As well as finally the helmet for Erlanger. This is what they are rocking and rolling with the red and brown. Erlanger does have one superstar on this team, and it's Anthony Miller. He's a senior guy, and while he's not the fastest person on the face of the earth, he has hands that could literally catch everything. Rumor on the street is that they call him Allstate because he has good hands. The best unit on this squad, though, is his defensive back core. They have a trio in Chase Signer, Blake Houston, and William Gasper. All experienced guys, and all of whom can play very well too, which you love to see. They also have a really good linebacker core in Bradley Wooden and Jesse Legault as well, with Jamison McIntosh looking to come in and make a contribution right away as a true freshman. To top it off, they also have an experienced quarterback in Derek Guillory. Look for him to make some noise this upcoming season. Coming up next, we have the Little Rock Yellow Jackets representing Little Rock, Arkansas. One of the few teams in the state of Arkansas, if not the only team in the entire state. They're going to be rocking the yellow and brown and will be replacing the Oxford Deer during the course of this series. On top of that, these are also the uniforms that Little Rock will be experiencing this upcoming season, as here are the home jerseys that Little Rock will be wearing, as well as the away jerseys that they will be using as well in their inaugural campaign here in the ACSA. Finally, here's a close look at the Little Rock helmet. Got that nice blend of brown and yellow. Love the helmet combination here. To top it off, there are 3 stars to definitely keep your eye on. You got tight end Taylor Vanecki, who is a 6'7" threat with good speed and great hands. This dude looks like a borderline cheat code. Also on this squad is Graham Pierce and Stephen Schaffer, who in their own rights are looking to make huge contributions to this team here in the Super South Conference. Other guys to also keep your eye on is linebacker DK Lillies, who is the senior captain of the entire defense. Defensive back Patrick Kenny, who's got things locked down in the back of the defense, as well as senior quarterback Ben Harris, who has the experience to win the big games needed to compete in the Super South Conference. After that, we have Mississippi A&M, home of the Vipers, here in Maximum Football 2020. They're representing Jackson, Mississippi, and they are going to be rocking the green and blue over the course of this series. Mississippi A&M is going to be replacing the Auburn Bengals here in Maximum Football 2020. As for the uniforms, this is what Mississippi A&M's home jerseys are going to be looking like this upcoming season as we take a quick world swirl with the home jerseys. Then we'll take also a look at the Mississippi A&M away jerseys when they travel outside the confines of Jackson, Mississippi. Not to be confused with the Jackson Jackers that are in a much weaker conference and frankly, a much weaker team, as we take one quick look at their helmets. And unlike the Jackson Jackers, who I brought up in an earlier ACSA team reveal, this team is certainly not lacking talent. Their best player is Trey Hawkins, who's only a freshman, but has 99 strength. He can bulldoze people like Bo Jackson did back in the day. Other guys to check out is freshman Evan Porter, defensive lineman, Ryan Paddock with his companion Blake Pagan. They're going to be a duo to really tear up the conference. And then, of course, Evan Porter's favorite receiver in Brandon Smith. 94 speed, but also 6'1", 237. He's going to be a matchup nightmare this upcoming season. Other things to look out for is this defensive backcourt, which features a trio of Drew Vertman, AJ Thompson, and Bo Jones. These three teaming up together can lock up any wide receiver core in this conference if they live up to their full potential. Moving on back down to Prairieville, Louisiana, we have the Prairieville University Prairiedogs, who will be rocking the brown and black and will be replacing the Missouri Cats here in Maximum Football 2020. In addition, this is also what the home jerseys are going to be looking like for Prairieville, representing the Prairiedogs right on the front of the jersey. And then on the road, same case, but going with an all-white look, nothing too fancy. Like many teams here in the Super South Conference, they just want to play ball. Another thing we'll take a quick look at is the Prairie Dog helmet that they got going on here. Got the full brown with the black stripes. A very clean look, if I say so myself. On this team, they have a couple stars to watch out for. Bradley Clark and Bombly Ziamos are two guys to definitely watch out for, as they're both speed demons, but they don't necessarily have the best awareness in the world. So I wonder how that will play out in the sims as well as when they're actually on the field. Another thing to watch out for is senior running back Shaquille Couch. He may be the backup, but that doesn't mean he can't make a difference. This could be a special teams guy that could be so electric, like a Devin Hester kind of guy. Other players on offense to check out is AJ McNutt, Shamir Holcomb, and of course they have wide receiver Preston Rogers. They're going to be some good guys, but the strength of this team overall has to be their linebacking core, as they have a trio of DeAndre Ross, Kyer Phillips, and Winvel Kanoy, who is only a true freshman, and while only standing at 5'10", he does make that for elite speed at the linebacker position. Look for him to be getting freshman honors within the Super South Conference. Are in Southern Alabama State, home of the Hyenas, where they call Saraland, Alabama home. They also will be wearing the brown and black like the Prairieville Prairiedogs are, and will be replacing the Gainesville green as well. So in that case, this is also what Southern Alabama State is going to be wearing, and they got some nice jerseys. I gotta say, they look pretty darn nice. So these are the home ones for Southern Alabama State. And subsequently, here is the road jerseys. that they will be wearing as well, this upcoming season, as we make some quick changes to how the player names look on the back, just trying to make sure it all looks clean for your viewing enjoyment when the games officially get started. As here's the helmets for Southern Alabama State. On this roster, they have multiple star players, but they're mostly on the offensive side of the ball. And of course, that means Jesse Clark has to be salivating. He's got decent mobility, but he has a cannon of an arm. He's going to use it to get to receivers like J.J. Perkins, Andy Jordan, who's 6'5" and has great speed, and then Antonio Arnold, who's going to be the perfect slot receiver for this guy as well. Not to be outshined, but the defensive line looks really good as well, led by freshman defensive lineman Alex Borfee, who's already 288 pounds as a freshman. Look for him to dominate the front lines early and often. But not to be outshined, Greg Lewis and Bubba Claire are also there to control the trenches as well. Finally, couple more players to watch out for is the linebacking core, particularly with Kerryon McCray, J.K. Rushing, and Geno Jones, who is the defensive soul here at Southern Alabama State. We are reviewing here in the Super South Conference. We have the University of Georgia in Cartersville, where we find the Peach Panthers representing Cartersville, Georgia. They're going to be one of the few teams rocking peach as their main color, but they also have that black to try to be intimidating as well. Speaking of their colors, this is what the home team's going to be looking like, as there are the home jerseys for UGBC this upcoming season. Definitely love how they turned out. Even if that's not necessarily peach, I still love how these uniforms turned out. As here is also the away jerseys for UGBC this upcoming season. Very nice. One more thing before we get into the helmets, you gotta love a peach helmet. Just get up close and personal. Not afraid to show the manliness. They don't need manly colors to play football down in Georgia. Now, UGBC has a running back duo that's going to be tough to handle. Both upperclassmen, we got Adam Tudzika, and on top of that, they also have Janoris Shorter with 90-plus overall guys looking to make a huge impact, this upcoming season. Other weapons to watch out for is tight end Alanda Moffett, who's a 6'5" guy with, just a Swiss Army knife for these guys, as well as the, other tight end in Tyler Davis. Look for them to run some 2 tight end sets. On the defensive side of the ball, they're led by defensive lineman Reggie Golson, who's only 5'11", but he makes it up with brutal strength and an elite agility as well. You love to see that. Going to wrap things up here for the Super South Conference, where we went over all 14 custom teams that will make up this prestigious conference. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure you smash that like button as well as hit subscribe if you happen to be new. If you also haven't done so already, then check out the previous parts to this ACSA Team Reveals series. I will have the link to that playlist in the description, as well as in the end card at the end of this video. In the meantime, I hope you guys are all having a wonderful day. Take care, everybody.